Well, hi, I'm Courtney. Welcome to my channel where we discuss educational research one study at a time so that you can incorporate it into your practice. This is video 3 in my series for parents about how we can promote reading in our home, especially if the way that you are experiencing reading doesn't look like it does on Pinterest or on Instagram. So I have experience as a mom and as a teacher, and I'm here to sort of demystify what reading actually looks like in the home. If you haven't yet, go check out videos 1 and 2 of this series so that you can get caught up to where we are. Alright, tip number 1, if your child is just struggling for the day and they're tired and they're just not wanting to read, I like to generously offer and be very clear about how generous this offer is. I like to offer to read every other page to the child. I don't offer to read a page that they're going to read. They have to read their own page. There's no copying and memorizing. But if you read a page, I'll read the next page. And I let them pick which pages they want me to read and which pages they want to read, but it has to be 50-50. That way they're still getting reading practice in, they're still getting the sense of accomplishing a book in the series, especially if you're using decodable books and you're working through a series. It gives them a sense of being able to tick it off the list, and it keeps them going rather than skipping a whole night of reading. Number 2, I like to go real low on the wow factor. I don't have a cozy nook or a weighted blanket or special snacks or special cuddly things that we play with, little book buddies to read to, none of that. It's just me, my child, the book. Because I find that if it becomes too much of a production, it's too hard to keep up on. And then what if we don't have time to be at home and we don't have our stuffy? Well, we can still read. Sometimes reading has to happen in the 10 minutes you have waiting for swimming lessons. So I like reading to be able to happen anywhere, anytime. And I also don't like ways for my children to be able to poke holes in why they couldn't possibly read. So if we keep it low, we keep it simple, we can keep it happening. Number 3 is to still read bedtime stories to your child. So if your child has already done their reading for the night and isn't interested in practicing reading before bed, don't worry, use that time so that your child can enjoy a story and you get to read to them. That's important too, that they hear what fluent readers sound like. Then you can focus on meaning making and predicting and all of that good stuff, discussing the story. But sometimes children have a bit of a fear that if they learn to read, they're not going to get bedtime stories anymore because, well, you have this skill, you take it over. So still make that time enjoyable for your child and let them enjoy a story, but make sure that they're getting their reading in earlier on. At bedtime, I like to also tell my child, I know you've been reading really well and you're really good at it, and I know pretty soon you'll be able to read these bedtime stories too, but I really like reading them to you. So as long as you're okay with it, I'll keep reading our bedtime stories. That way it reassures them and it shows them that you also enjoy reading and have a love of doing it. Number 4 is if you get off track and you haven't been able to read for a while, or it's an especially hard day for your child, go ahead and read a book that you've already read before that's pretty easy for your child. That way you can also show your child how far they've come. You can say, hey, you know, when you first started reading this book, it was a lot of work, but now look at you. You can read this book without even having to focus too hard. You can just say the words really fast. And then if the books have a list of all of the books in the series, especially if it's like a decodable series, you can show them where they are now and where they were and say, look at how much you've grown and look at how much you've learned by reading every night. That's why we do this, because by the time we're done with this set of books, you're going to be able to read anything you want. And so build in the motivation and take that night as an opportunity to celebrate rather than as an opportunity to be hard on yourself for not keeping up with the reading or for focusing on anything that's been contributing to an especially bad day for your child. And number 5 for this video is to keep pens and papers on hand, supervised, depending on how young they are. But for some children, definitely not all, I only have one child that likes to do this, but some children really like to make the connections between reading and writing, and this is really supported by the research, so maybe I should be doing it with all of my kids. But after they're done reading, if they want to go and write about the book, or if they want to go write some words that they've already read, have at her. So just keep those supplies handy and accessible for children who naturally want to make those connections. I hope this has been helpful for you. Please like, comment, and share with other people so that we can reframe what reading at home looks like. Have a great day. Bye.